In Tamil Nadu's Thoothukudi district, 3 class 12 students have been dismissed from a government-run social justice hostel after they assaulted a class 7 boy and circulated a video of the attack online. The incident took place at the Social Justice Students Hostel in Sethupati Nagar, which houses 63 students from different communities studying in nearby schools. Now, according to sources, the violence began on the night of 10th November. A class 12 student's record book was allegedly torn by this little boy who was in class 7. The senior boy was very angry and they beat him up. Another student then recorded the assault on his mobile phone and the video surfaced on social media days later. Now, this also says, sources are saying class 7 victim belongs to a scheduled tribe community, while the attackers were from caste Hindu communities. The next morning, the hostel warden alerted the district child welfare committee and the backward classes welfare department. A team of officials visited the hostel and conducted an inquiry. They found the assault was triggered by the torn record book. They also investigated whether caste played an important role, but then they are denying that this was completely not the case. The parents have also been called. My whole question is this is social justice hostel. Why is an incident like this happening? Even if there is no caste angle to it, why is there so much of violence? Despite the fact that unbilled Mahesh Payamari keeps saying that I will see to it that violence stops at the school level. Every day there is one incident. Brinda Digge joined us. She is a social activist and director, Global Concerns India. Brinda, you know, what a travesty. This is supposed to be social justice hostel. And look at this, they are saying there is no caste angle to it. Don't you think children will be naughty? I can tear your book, that does not mean that you assault me. Okay, fine. Assault also I take. You circulate that video on social media networks. What is this? Brinda.
Yes, Sudha, appalling. And like you mentioned, social justice, but no protection. Social or otherwise, there is no protection. And while you might say, and the others might say over there, that there's no caste angle, why are children not taught that you cannot raise your hand on anybody, irrespective of what might have transpired over there? Now, that record book being torn by the 7th standard student might also have a background story to it, because somebody will not simply pick up and tear it up and say, I'm going to tear up this particular student's book. So there should have been some background to it. Now, that said, the older children, one boy has beaten, but somebody has been recording it and putting it on social media, goes to show that they are not afraid of being pulled up. A. B, there is no social conditioning that has been taught to the children to say that privacy is everybody's right. You can't post anything that you want on social media, even if you've had a fight. And while the fight was happening, where was the warden? The warden is supposed to be around all the time.
Very
So
well said.
that begs the question that this safety and this protection go hand in hand. So if the warden was nowhere around and he goes and makes a complaint the next day to the juvenile justice or the child welfare committee, that is a good thing he's done. But where was he when this fight was happening?
Right.
Obviously, it wasn't 2 minutes.
You know, also they can go blue in their face of saying, oh, it is just kind of two boys fighting and everything. But I want to talk about the caste angle. I will wait, because this is not the first time. This, you remember that case in Trichy where, you know, some boys went to the home of a siblings and they attacked them with sickles because of the caste angle. I am not going into this. I don't want to talk about it unless it's proven. My whole point is, even this recording, I remember Anbil Mahesh Payamari once saying, why is it that videos are being recorded in class and circulated? They dancing in front of the teacher, rowdy behavior. I think the education system is collapsing in Tamil Nadu, because, I'm not exaggerating, Brinda, this must be the 20th story I am doing on kids.
You're absolutely right, Sudha. Education and the system, I think, is collapsing across India. I don't think a single state can stand up and say, we are here to set this model. It's not there. But like you mentioned, the number of stories that have come from Tamil Nadu is very, very disturbing. Not only the fact that it is going on social media and things like that, but no other preventive action has been put in. And like you mentioned, minister who said that he's going to begin this from school.
Yeah.
Where has he started?
Nothing.
Is there any kind of where is the prevention and the education started? I don't see anything in the social media that something like this, an initiative has been started for students to be wary, to be careful, to understand how social media functions and what is privacy and children's rights that needs to be
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
That kind of education has not gone all out.
Brinda,
so what was he trying to say?
Absolutely.
Just a newspaper or maybe social media to just come and say, I'm doing this, but not done anything.
Brinda, last question before I let you go. The thing is, they've all gone, denied it that there is any caste problem in schools. Brinda, if there was no caste problem in school and caste violence, why did you have a social justice hostel in Tamil Nadu? Just like that, it's their hobby.
The social justice hostels are across India, including in Karnataka. And we know that the social justice hostels house a lot of different people, but a high number of them come from the SC/ST community. And we know what is happening in Tamil Nadu, where so-called dominant castes, I'm not going to call them anything else, but dominant castes assume that they can do anything and get away. These students have done the same thing because they've seen their families and their parents and their uncles and their aunts get away with all of this. It continues in all places across Tamil Nadu.
What a dismal picture.
But Tamil Nadu it is, and
Right.
that's what these students are replicating.
Thank you so much, Brinda Adige, for putting a perspective to this story.